while I was attempting to relax on my motorcycle trip. The world was burning down over another example of racial arson being promulgated by attorney Benjamin Crump and attorney Lee Merritt. And that's what we'll be talking about today. The shooting of Ralph Yarry by 84-year-old homeowner Andrew Lester. Now, if you heard in the description, of course, I set out what the defense narrative is going to be in this case. And in fact, I'll share that with all of you now. Of course, you can read it at your leisure. But in the late night hours of last Thursday, April 13th, an 84-year-old homeowner who lives by himself was awoken from his bed at 10 p.m. at night by someone banging on his front door. He armed himself with a .32 caliber pistol, opened up his front door to respond to the person outside. And before him stood an unknown 6-foot-tall male trespassing in violation of several no trespassing signs on the property and apparently attempting to force entry through the homeowner's locked storm door. That's an apparent forcible home invasion. The homeowner shot at the attempted intruder twice, and the intruder fled. And then the homeowner promptly called 911 to report the event and was completely cooperative with police and authorities when they arrived, including letting them completely search his home and so forth. For this 84-year-old homeowner, Andrew Lester, has been immediately targeted for racial arson by Benjamin Crump, Lee Merritt, others of his ilk. A full-blown propaganda campaign is raging across Twitter and the news media, demonizing Lester for purportedly having shot 16-year-old Ralph Yarry simply for the crime of having rung Lester's doorbell. Within a day, Lester was charged by prosecutor Zachary Thompson with the life felony of first-degree assault, as well as the 15-year felony of armed criminal action. Notably, prosecutor Thompson informed the public in announcing these charges that, quote, "It's been my goal from the very beginning to get justice for the child involved in this case." No mention was made of any interest in justice for 84-year-old homeowner Andrew Lester, facing an apparent home invader at 10 p.m. at night. That's where we are so far. And of course, what's happening on, if you spend any time on Twitter or social media, and we'll go through a number of news media reports in this event, all you're hearing is stuff like this. What happened to the neat stuff I wanted to pull up? All you're hearing are the propaganda representations of what happened here, like this. Justin Timberlake, a musician, I'm told, writes, Ralph Yarry, is it Yarry or Jarl? I thought it was Yarry. If I'm getting that wrong, Jarl, my mistake. Apologies for getting that wrong. Justin Timberlake, Ralph Yarl, accidentally rang the door of the wrong house while trying to pick up his siblings. For this, a man shot him in the head. That's why we're supposed to believe that Andrew Lester shot Ralph Yarl in the head, because Ralph Yarl rang the doorbell of his home. That's what we're supposed to believe. Then shot him a second time as he was on the ground, as if that's undisputed fact. 4.2 million views of this propagandistic representation of what happened. Absolutely no effort to be even-handed, just jumping on the Benjamin Crump bandwagon. How is anybody in America supposed to get justice when in an instant over 4 million people can be thoroughly propagandized? And this is one tweet of thousands cascading across Twitter. And of course, if you read the news media, they simply follow the propaganda like this in the usual manner. So this is what we'll be talking about today. Before we do, I should mention that Today's show is sponsored by none other than American Law Courses. American Law Courses, these are the law school level courses that we've set up for people who are interested in a law school education, law school level education without the unbelievable cost and time commitment of law school, and without any of the political toxicity of law school. Learn criminal law, evidence, property, constitutional law, and much more at a law school level by expert instructors at AmericanLawCourses.com. And this summer, I'm very proud to announce we're doing our first course in constitutional law as part of the summer semester. You can learn more about all this by pointing your browser to AmericanLawCourses.com. So obviously, nobody commenting on this event, this shooting of Ralph Yarl by Andrew Lester, was there. I wasn't there. Justin Timberlake wasn't there. Benjamin Crump wasn't there. The prosecutor wasn't there. So none of us has personal knowledge of what happened, as always in these cases. All we can do is look at the evidence and attempt to come to reasonable inferences from the evidence. And there is evidence to suggest that Andrew Lester did not shoot Ralph Yarl simply because Ralph was at the wrong house or rang his doorbell or knocked on his door. That Andrew Lester had substantively better reasons for firing 2 shots at Ralph Yarl, including a reasonably possessed belief that the 84-year-old's home was about to be forcibly entered and subject to a home invasion at 10 p.m. at night while he was there alone because he lived alone. I expect that to be the defense narrative in this case, but you won't hear a word of that from the news media or social media. You'll find bits and pieces in the news media because they can't help but report it. They probably don't know that they're reporting things that are harmful to the Benjamin Crump narrative of shot for ringing a doorbell. And I've gone through some of the news reports. We'll look at 4 or 5 of them, and I've highlighted the relevant portions that support the defense narrative, but which the news media themselves would never put together in a cohesive manner so you could see the other side.